Joining us now, House Foreign Affairs member, Pennsylvania Congressman Dan Meuser. Congressman, we'd like your reaction to the president saying he will not commit to the U.S. withdrawing out of Afghanistan beyond the August 31st deadline. What was your reaction when you heard that?
Well, shock. Why would we have an arbitrary, ridiculous date for withdrawal when you have people such as Adam Schiff and everybody else stating how it's very unlikely we will get all Americans out by August 31st, which, by the way, is a week away, not to mention the allies, Afghanistani allies that fought with us, getting them out. Who has held us to this date where we will perhaps leave Americans behind? That is contrary to everything our military and our country is supposed to be about. Yet President Biden comes out in a glowing way, announces August 31st, and talks about how wonderful an agenda he has. It's pretty remarkable and quite disturbing.
Media critics calling out MSNBC and CNN for really incompetent reporting on the Trump deal with the Taliban, saying that Biden could have gotten rid of it. He wasn't handcuffed by it. Trump had conditions in that withdrawal plan, saying if you connect with al-Qaeda, give rise to al-Qaeda, we will fight, we will come back at you. And he released 5,000 Taliban, or he agreed to the release of 5,000 Taliban prisoners in exchange for 1,000 Afghan soldiers. You know, you could see why that part of it is problematic. But the point of the conditions-based plan is you account ahead of time for how many Americans are there. Now they don't know how many Americans are stranded because they just simply unplugged it and pulled out.
Yeah.
And Robert Gates, former top security official, says Biden never got it right in 40 years in foreign policy. What do you say to that?
Bob Gates did say that, and I think Bob Gates was right. We're seeing it once again. And how sad that the current president has to state that he was held by a past agreement by the Trump administration when he abandoned every other agreement regarding the border, regarding the Paris climate, regarding Iran. So it's shameless excuse making. There were no conditions assigned to this situation, no planning. I mean, I've been in enough meetings already to see that there was no planning. And I know as a fact, and we all do, that when President Trump was in office, the conditions were very clear. And if those conditions weren't met, it was also clear that the full might of the United States military would be used against the Taliban and those breaking such an agreement. I know that from someone who was in the room as it was stated. So it's nonsense, yeah. and it continues to erode trust, Liz, and that's perhaps one of the biggest problems outside of all of our Americans over there and Afghanistan becoming another hotbed of terrorism, completely caused by the policies of the Biden administration.
Well, the American people are being actively misled and misinformed in real time.
That's right. That's right.
What's happening. I want to get to this. Nancy Pelosi saying, Nancy Pelosi's stuff happens moment. She told a local TV station in her home district in California, this is what happens. She's talking about the tens of billions of dollars of military hardware and assets left behind to the Taliban. Congressman Jim Banks says that now the Taliban has more Black Hawks than 85% of countries, all the countries around the world. Ahmed Massoud is trying to lead a resistance inside Afghanistan. He had asked the White House for some military help. He says he was turned down. What do you say to that?
Yeah, again, it's incredulous. It's very difficult to get in the minds of this irrational thought. And what Congressman Banks did say is true. Well over 150, perhaps, Black Hawk helicopters, thousands of vehicles, all kinds of arms. We're seeing them utilize it. It's just a complete misunderstanding of what's important. And it's quite delusional. And now, by the way, and it's not just coming out of the White House, here we are in the Capitol, and today Nancy Pelosi and much of the leadership of the Democrat House are rewarding themselves by passing trying to do their best to pass a $5 trillion spending bill, not to mention a federal takeover of elections, because they're doing such a good job, they feel they should be elected into office regularly. So, look, we've got to get real. We have to be focused on what makes America America and what makes the world safe. And this is some serious situations. We've got to deal from a position of strength.
Congressman Dan Meuser, thank you so much. We really appreciate it. Come back soon.
Thanks very much.